Okay, so we'll start with the next practical, which is the determination of turbidity of water. Now, whenever we talk about turbidity, what is the meaning of turbidity? Anyone can? We don't require the water to be turbid, right? So, what is the meaning of turbidity? So second practical is our determination of turbidity of water. So whenever we talk about the calculation of turbidity, we are only concerned about the water which we are going to drink. Okay, not any sewage water, not any other water. Okay. So the drinking water has comparatively less turbid, okay, rather than the sewage water. Why? You must have seen that the sewage water comprises of so many of dissolved solids or suspended solids which is being present in the sewage water. But as far as drinking water is concerned, even from wherever we draw the water from, mostly we draw the water from where? We mostly draw the water from either lakes or rivers. From their lakes and rivers, we barely found the turbid water. Okay, so turbidity is mostly concerned to the water supply, not the sewage. Okay, why? First thing, if I told you to drink any turbid water, are you going to drink the turbid water? No. Why? Because it basically gives the aesthetical unpleasant. Okay, so whenever you see any, even a one small any particles inside your glass, you don't even think of to drink that particular water. Okay, so we don't require any of the turbidity in the drinking water, so we require the drinking water to be which has a zero turbidity. Okay, so that's our second practical, which is the determination of turbidity of water. Okay, so what is our aim? Aim is to find out the turbidity of a given sample. So now what is this given sample? Given sample is mostly the sample of which we have to calculate the turbidity. Mostly in our practical, we mostly use the tap water from our college. Okay, next is the apparatus. So which apparatus which we are going to use for calculating this turbidity of water? First is either we can use the nephelometer turbidity meter, or we can use other equipment, other similar equipment as well. And second was is the sample tubes. So now what is the use of this sample tubes? Sample tubes are nothing but it's kind of beaker which you can see here. Okay, it is nothing but a small beaker having something like 5 to 7 centimeter depth beaker, which is on which we are going to take a sample and which we are going to place inside this nephelometric turbid meter. Okay, this is either called as a turbidity meter in layman's term, and mostly to make it more specified, we are calling it to be the nephelometrous turbidity meter. Remember the name. And if you don't remember anything, just call it the turbidity meter. Okay, so this is how the turbidity meter looks like. In this turbidity meter, you can see here, this is a digital uh, on which we are going to get the readings, and here is a knob. Okay, either switch it on or off. And second one, this is for the calibration purpose. Okay, these two are used for the calibration purpose. Okay, so this is the general things about the equipment. Next is the apparatus required. So what are the apparatus which we are going to use in this practical? First is the turbidity meter, which I have already told you, and the unit is NTU. Okay, whatever the value which we are going to get is in NTU. Now, what is NTU? It is nothing but the nephelometric turbidity unit. Okay, what is NTU? Nephelometric turbidity unit. So whatever the unit, whatever the values we are going to get, it's the unit for calculating the turbidity. It is either calculated in NTU or STU, or it is also being used to measure in mg per liter as well. But mg per liter is totally not obsolete. So we basically use this standard unit, which is nothing but the NTU, nephelometric turbidity unit. Okay. Next, this is the sample cells which I have told you, which we are going to put inside this equipment, for on which we are going to get the samples of which we have to calculate the turbidity. Next is this tissue paper, funnel, standard, flask, and wash bottle. These are the general things which is auxiliary being used for calculation this turbidity. Okay. Next is the theory behind it. What is the theory? Why we are calculating and how the turbidity is being measured? Okay. First, the light is passed through the sample having the suspended particle. Suspended particle. Some of the light is scattered by the particle. Okay. Now, I'm going to explain this. Okay, I'm going to explain the whole thing in theory lectures as well, because we are going to use different turbidity meter as well. Okay, what we are basically using the traditionally, what we are using right now. So each and every type of turbidity meter which we are going to learn in theory lecture as well. So I'm just going to give the general basic about it. So so this turbidity, okay, now we are going to get the sample. Okay, this is a sample, and this is a beaker, and beaker has some total solid or suspended solid is being present inside it. Okay, now what is the basic principle behind it? So what we are going to do, we are going to use a lamp. Okay, this is a source of light or lamp, whatever you called it. Okay, this is a light, and light is being passing from this beaker, and here we are going to see. Okay, this is our eyes. Okay, this is our eye, from where we are going to observe this turbidity. Okay, whenever we can see this, this is a beaker which has too much of turbid water. Now if it has too much turbid water, now whatever the light which is being passed from it is going to get scattered somewhere else. Okay, now because of this penetration of light, this light is going to scatter somewhere else. Okay, because the turbidity, and we are not going to get the actual image of it. Okay, ठीक है, यहाँ से अगर अपन देखना चाहे तो यहाँ पर वो दिखेगा क्या, लाइट क्लियरली दिखेगा क्या, लाइट नहीं दिखेगा. क्यों नहीं दिखेगा? बिकॉज देर आर सो मच ऑफ द टर्बिडिटी is being present inside this water. Now say for example the another case, what we are going to do, we are going to take a sample, and the sample has zero turbidity, there is no anything is being present inside it. So whenever the source of light is being projected from here, light is being projected from here, we are going to see the clear image of it. Okay, we are going to see the light clearly. So what we can conclude here, we can conclude that the water has less turbid. Okay, so this is the basic principle behind it. If the light passing through it, so let's see here, it has written the scattering of light, the scattering to the light is generally proportional to the turbidity. The more the light will scatter, the more will be the turbid water. Okay, the turbidity of sample is usually measured from the amount of light scattered by the sample, taking the reference with the standard turbidity suspension. Okay, now here also, like previous practical, we have considered everything with the standard thing. Now what is the standard thing we have used? We have make a buffer solution of having the different pH. Okay, now in this also we are going to use a standard turbidity suspension. Okay, first we are going to make a sample, or we are going to bring a sample which has a known turbidity for the calibration purpose. So what we are going to do, we are going to check the turbidity with reference to standard one. Okay, with reference with the standard turbidity suspension. Okay, so what is the turbidity? The turbidity of sample is thus measured from the amount of light scattered. The more the light scattered, the more will be its turbidity. Understood? So this is the theory behind it. We are going to learn about each and everything about this in theory lecture as well. Okay, next comes here you can see this is a clear water. Okay, this water is clear water. This is little bit more turbid, more, and this is the highest turbid. Okay, this water is high turbid. Okay, now whenever you see something behind it, say for example there is some photo is being hanged on this wall, at this behind wall. So can you see from here? Yes, you can see clearly. Why? Because the water is less turbid, or we can say it is turbidity is zero. So you can see the thing which is beyond this beaker. Okay, in this you can vaguely see, in this you barely see, and in this solution you hardly see anything which is beyond this solution. Okay, so what we can say, that whatever we are seeing, whatever we see something, it's nothing but a ray of light. Okay, rays has been penetrating whatever we see on, we see the things on which the light has been fall on it. Okay, so similarly in this case as well. Okay, hope you understand, I don't need to explain, I'm explaining too much. Okay. In this case you can see the things, in this case you can't see the things which is beyond this solution. Okay, so what we can conclude here, we can conclude here that this solution, this particular solution is more turbid. Okay, there are even more turbid solution as well. Okay, so it is also called as murky, M-U-R-K-Y. M-U-R-K-Y. Murky water means it is also called as the dirty water. Okay, so this is the high turbidity and this is the low turbidity. So are you going to drink this water? No. Even though I can, even though if I say that this water is totally pure, but are you going to drink this? No. Why? Because it has turbidity. It has the total suspended solid being present inside it. So you are not going to drink this water. Okay. Hope till now you are clear about this. Next comes the procedure. Now, what is the procedure behind it? How to calculate this turbidity? First of all, you have to switch on the turbidity meter, as I've already said, at least 30 minutes before the test. Before doing any test, we have to switch on the turbidity meter. Then what we are going to do, we have two things. First, this turbidity meter, and second one is this jar. Not jar, it is called as a sample cell on which we are going to take a sample. After that, what do you have to do? You have to prepare a sample of 40 NTU solution. Either you can use this 400 NTU solution, or you can use the distilled water as well. So first thing what we have to do whenever we do any practical, first thing we have to calibrate the equipment. Previously also we calibrate using the 3 solution. In this also we are going to use the solution for the calibration purpose. First thing, this 400 NTU solution, what we are going to do, calibrate the turbid meter of 400 NTU using the standard solution by adjusting the calibration knob. Now what we are going to do, we are going to take this sample into this calibration and going to put out inside this equipment. After putting it down, what we have to do, we are going to get some readings. After getting some readings, what we have to do, now that we know that the solution has a turbidity of 400 NTU, so what we are going to do, we are going to rotate this knob. Okay, what we are going to do, we are going to rotate this knob till it becomes 400. After it gets the 400, then what we are going to do, we are going to get the distilled water. Now we know that the distilled water has the zero turbidity. Okay, now we take the this cell and we are going to pour the distilled water in it. After pouring the distilled water into this sample, we are going to put it inside this equipment. After putting it this, now we are again calibrating it. First we are calibrated with using the 400 NTU sample solution. Second, we are going to calibrate using the distilled water. And now that we know that the distilled water has zero turbidity, we are going to calibrate till the value appears to be 0 NTU. After doing so, what we can see, now the whole equipment is going to get calibrated. Now it is ready to use the sample of which we have to calculate the turbidity. Next, what we are going to do, we are going to take a sample from anywhere we are going to take and putting inside this equipment. After putting it inside this equipment, what we are going to do, we are going to get some readings, and this readings is nothing but the turbidity value in NTU. Remember this. What is NTU? NTU is nephelometric turbidity unit, or it is also measured in mg per liter. And there are different units for calculation of turbidity as well, which we are going to see in theory lecture as well. Okay, so not repeating the same thing repeatedly. So I'm just going to tell you the things which is important for the practical aspect. Okay, so what is the unit of turbidity? Turbidity unit is NTU, nephelometric turbidity unit. Remember this. Okay, so this is how we have to calculate the turbidity of any sample. Understood? Significance. Now, what are the environmental significance? First is the aesthetic consideration, and second one is the engineering consideration. Now, what is the meaning of aesthetic consideration? Whenever as I have already told you, what is the aesthetic consideration? Whenever you drink the water, if it has some turbidity in it, we don't like to drink that particular water. So this is one of the aesthetical consideration. We don't require to see something which is dirty. Okay, we don't want to drink something which is dirty. Okay. Second thing, engineering consideration. Now we are mostly focused on this engineering consideration. Engineering consideration is these 4 points. First is knowledge of the turbidity variation of the raw water supply along with other information is useful to determine whether a supply requires special treatment by chemical coagulation and filtration before it may be used for the public water supply. So if the water is too much turbid, then how much amount of coagulation coagulant which we are going to use, so that we are going to remove the turbidity of water. For that purpose, we have to check the turbidity of water. Now, when we are going to check this turbidity, say for example, these are the units, okay, water treatment unit. These are the some water treatment unit. In this water treatment unit, in this unit, we are going to remove the turbidity. Okay, say for example, we are going to do the coagulation, flocculation in this unit. And before coagulation, flocculation, what is the unit? It is nothing but the aeration unit. Okay, we are going to see about all these things as well. Okay, after doing so, in this particular unit, what we are going to do? We are going to check the turbidity. Now, why we are going to check the turbidity? Because in this unit, we are going to remove the turbidity. For removing the turbidity, what is important? We have to check whether how much is the turbidity of water is being present, how much the water is being turbid. Okay, so what we are going to do? We are going to take a sample from this particular portion, and we are going to test in the laboratory. Okay, after going to get how much is the turbidity of water, then we are going to use this turbidity value to get to know how much is the coagulant which we have to add in this unit, so that the whole turbid water is going to get removed, or the whole turbidity in the water is going to get removed. Okay, so this is the first significance of it. Second, the turbidity measurement are used to determine the effectiveness of the treatment produced with different chemicals as the doses needed. This is the same as the first one. How much dose of coagulant is required for that purpose? That what we are going to use it. Third is measurement of turbidity is settled. Water prior to the filtration is useful in controlling the chemical doses to parent excessive loading or the rapid sand filter. Okay, this is also the same thing, in which what it has said, if the turbidity is not being removed, so what happens in rapid sand filter? What is the use of filter? Filter is used to filter out some of the sediments which is being present in it. But if the sediments are of a larger size, then ultimately the rapid sand filter is going to get clogged. And because of the clogging process, we have to wash the rapid sand filter more frequently, which ultimately reduces our efficiency, or which ultimately reduces the efficiency of the whole treatment unit. So it is also important to make sure that the turbidity has to be removed in coagulation flocculation unit. Okay. Next is the turbidity is determined, used to evaluate the performance of the waste treatment plants as well. Okay, so it is also used for the wastewater treatment plants, which is the concern of our environmental engineering too, which we are going to see in details about it. Okay, now after doing all these things, what are the significance? Okay, now what sorry, not we have done the significance. Now what are the observation table? Observation table is totally similar as the previous one. What is the first thing? First, we are going to write the serial number. Next, description of sample, and last one is the turbidity. Now, what is the description of sample? What we are going to write in this description? We have to write from where we have taken the sample, from where this water has coming from, who has provided that particular water. All the description of the sample has to be written here, and at last you have to write the turbidity. Say for example, if it comes out to be 100 NTU, then you have to write in this question 100 NTU. What is the meaning of, what is the full form of NTU? Nephelometric turbidity unit. Okay, this is how you have to write it down, this observation table. Next, result the turbidity of given sample, it comes out to be so. Okay, last is this question, what are the significance of turbidity? As I already told you, what are the precautions to be taken while conducting a test? What are the precautions? So I've already told you which precautions you are going to do. First thing, you are going to calibrate the equipment properly. This is the one of the most important and vital precautions which one has to take before doing any practical. Okay, what are the other things? What is the permissible range of the turbidity as per IS code? Now, as per IS code, what is this turbidity value? As I've okay. Now we'll see here turbidity. Now turbidity has given over here. So turbidity parameter acceptable limit is 1. Now what is this 1? 1 is 1 NTU, 1 nephelometric turbidity unit. It's okay to have a turbidity unit which has unit 1 NTU. Okay, and what is the permissible limit in the absence of alternate source? It is nothing but 5 NTU. Okay, so these two things you have to remember. Previously what we are learning about this pH is 6.5 to 8.5 and no relaxation in the permissible limit. Okay, we are learned about these two things. Okay, you have to remember all of this 30. Okay, remember this. So these are the things. And last is, what are the other method of testing the turbidity of sample? Now there are so many other method of testing the turbidity. What are the other methods? First is the Jackson turbidity meter. Next is the next, which we have seen, this is the nephelometric turbidity meter, and another was the Bales turbidity meter. Okay, these are some of the turbidity meter which we are going to learn in detail in theory lecture. Okay, one of the traditional way of using this is the Jackson turbidity meter. Okay, remember this. What is Jackson's turbidity meter? Okay, so this is one of the important one which is mostly traditionally is being used. Okay, so this Jackson turbidity meter. So this is all about the turbidity. So do you have any